Hi, I'm Suze Weinberg, and today I'm going to share some tips with you on how to use my Hot Wax Stylus tool and some beeswax pigments. Let's get started. I'm going to share the very basic down and dirty technique for doing this beeswax project, and then we're going to show you some wonderful examples of how far you can take it. To start with, you want to turn on your tool. You'll notice it has a little switch in the back. It's green when it's on. I like to begin very often by just taking my cube and rubbing it to the back, which fills it up with beeswax, and then just placing it down on my surface. And then I will rub off my color if I want to change colors. Now, this is not like painting. You're not going to go very far, but you are in the end going to have a wonderful effect. The slicker the surface, such as chipboard, the smoother the effect that you're going to get. You can also just place your tip, your hot tip, down on your beeswax and then come onto your surface. Either way is fine. Work on the non-stick craft sheet because you are going to have a lot of beeswax that drips. Once your piece is finished, it will accept a lot of different mediums. One of my favorite are rub-ons. So after you've cut out your rub-on, you can just lay it on your surface and rub it down. Now you've got your rub-ons done. How about a little touch of jewels? We've got these wonderful little stick-on rhinestones. Many of you have these little embossing folders. I've taken this piece of cardstock and I've actually embossed the pattern on a piece of printed paper. Now I'll show you how you can use your tool to give it some texture. You're just very lightly going to go over it, and the beeswax will fall into a lot of these raised areas. It may fall into some areas that aren't raised as well, and that just adds to it. And as you can see, I've done it here on a larger piece. And here's one that I finished off as a card. And here's another example of that technique. You might like to do a really artsy book cover. This is just a little lined notebook from Staples. And again, I'm just going to start the same way. Remember, this is not paint, so you have to take your time layering your colors. And blending and mixing your colors is the most fun of all. As they drip into each other, you get some really great effects. After you're all done, you hopefully will have something that looks like this. The center was done using a piece of grunge board with beeswax. I made it look like a piece of leather. This box, wood box, was done exactly the same way as I did the book, just using different colors. And this frame was done exactly the same way. There are so many different colors of beeswax that you can combine, because this little wood box was also done exactly the same way. You can see I really love rub-ons and adding jewels front and back, done the same way. and finished off inside with some scrapbook paper. Here I used some really bright colors of the beeswax pigments, and then I layered some napkins over the top, used the hot tip with no beeswax on it to just press down on the napkin, and then added my usual rub-ons. Canvas is a little bit harder to work on. The beeswax kind of chugs along a little bit on it, but if you persevere, you can have a really nice piece of altered art. We hope you'll pick up your Hot Wax Stylus tool and your beeswax pigment cubes at schmoozewithsuze.com, and thanks for being with us again today.